He's director of the Korea Working Group and adjunct lecturer at the Harvard Kennedy School, as well as Olivia Enos. She's a policy analyst for the Asian Studies Center at the Heritage Foundation. Welcome to you both. John, I want to start with you. What do you make of what we just saw?
Well, I think as we've been hearing, there's been a lot of the behind the scenes preparation. And so in many respects, the idea that you only bring senior level delegations on both sides, President Trump and Chairman Kim representing their respective countries, and bringing these high level delegations over if there is something like this document. In terms of the details, we'll find out exactly what's there. But the key part of it is launching a process related to denuclearization, which opens up the door in terms of leading up to the other denuclearization-linked mechanisms. In South Korea's case, a permanent peace mechanism, and then related to that, the inter-Korean development projects as well. So all of these things are interlinked, and the key part was to get the movement here with the opening officially of the denuclearization mechanism.
Olivia, what will you be looking at when the deal, we see it, we get the details? The president is going to have a news conference. Fox News will, of course, be covering it live, 4 a.m. Eastern time. What are you looking for in terms of the details?
Well, I think we're potentially in uncharted territory here, certainly historic territory at the moment. And I think that we are looking at the potential for denuclearization. I mean, we heard the president say that it looks like we are starting this process. June 12th is just the beginning of a broader process. But I think that I'm hoping, as Secretary Pompeo said yesterday, that we're going to really emphasize the verify and complete, verifiable, irreversible dismantlement of North Korea's nuclear program. But my hope is also, since we haven't read the deal yet, that there was some talk about changes in the human rights area as well. So maybe we can make forward movement in a comprehensive way to really bring North Korea into the 21st century.
That's a tall order, obviously, given Kim Jong-un's human rights record. John, what say you to that?
Well, the human rights aspect of it, the idea is as long as you get this process moving forward, it creates and opens up the political space to tackle some of these other issues as well. So this idea of prioritization to begin with, to gauge the other side here, I think for the two leaders to meet and essentially see if they are the viable partners going forward, that's a key element of getting this initial step here with the denuclearization mechanism. And the idea that they're not going to close all the gaps here, but putting it and framing it within a denuclearization mechanism that creates these opportunities to narrow these differences. But that's the important prioritization, I think, that we just saw.
Olivia, what do you make as well of what we heard from the President of the United States saying that he developed a close bond with the North Korean dictator? His critics are going to say, wait a second, this is a brutal dictator. His supporters are going to say, this is a president who, against all odds, when people were saying about a year ago, fire and fury is going to backfire, that you're bringing us to the brink of nuclear war, we've gotten a much different result, haven't we?
Well, you know, I think that it is important to remember who we are dealing with. Of course, this is a brutal dictator. This is an individual who not only killed his brother, not only had his uncle killed, but he imprisons between 80,000 and 120,000 individuals in prison camps. But hopefully the president had a frank conversation with Kim Jong-un about those human rights abuses and said, we can help to move the needle on these issues in the same way that we can on denuclearization. So I think it's a positive sign if the president and Kim Jong-un do in fact have good rapport. And I think that that's something, hopefully, since June 12th is only the beginning of a process, that we can continue to move toward going forward.
Olivia, John, important points to make tonight. We appreciate you both coming in here in the afternoon in Singapore, middle of the night back home. We are just getting started here at Fox.